Hey friends, oh, rocking my throat. Hello friends, welcome. It's Lisa, hand stamped with Lisa Prado. Hello. I look different today because as if you were with me yesterday, I told you that I was getting new headshots taken today. So the place that I go for my headshots, she is amazing because she does my hair and my makeup. And so I'm always like, what I really need, I don't need to go in and get my hair styled. I want to go in and have somebody spend like 3 hours with me teaching me how to do my hair. I have never been good at doing my hair, which is why you will never see it look this cute again until I go back for my next set of headshots. But that's where I was today. So it was super fun. So yesterday we did this really darling, super simple card. Based on just scraps that I had. Let me show it to you real quick in case you missed it. Based on just scraps that I had from working with the Nature's Symphony, Nature's Walk suite. So super cute. All things that I had laying around on my little table. That is a disaster most of the time. Like my work area, like the disaster. I don't know how you guys are with how you craft, but I have enough space to work in and it keeps crowding in, and then I've got to, oh my word, terrible. So today I have something that is a little bit more, it's not tricky, it's just a little bit more involved. And so I want to start by showing you the designer series paper that we're going to be using today. It is the Beach Boardwalk. So let me show you what this looks like. So the Beach Boardwalk, and I think I have a couple pieces in here that are like not right. So let me pull this out so that you can see what it is. So it's this really darling set. It's got like the balloons and the Ferris wheel and the palm trees, the little carousel, cotton candy thing. So it came in a suite. And so the stamp set had a lot of these images in it. And I was like, oh gosh, I don't think that's like a one-off for me. Like that's not the kind of cards that I typically use. So I wasn't really super keen on the suite, although I've seen darling cards and now I'm like, why didn't I get the suite? Which is how it always is, isn't it? But what I really loved the most and why I had to get this paper is that while you've got some really bold images here, so you've got this really bold fun, you've got these palm trees, but if you look on the back, do you see how like super dreamy the backside of this cardstock is? So if I turn it the other way, let me see if I can do it to you that way, and you can see a little bit more about, I mean, look at how cute this is, right? So this has like little couple of things. It could be waves. It also could be like party like lights somewhere. So I thought that was really cute. Also have it in that beautiful peach color, so peach and turquoise. But it's got these colors that are very, I think of like sherbet. Like they're just, look at how pretty that is. Oh my goodness. I can't even, like such gorgeous watercolor paper. So I really loved it. And then look at over here. You've got, again, I think it could be water. Looks a little floral, looks a little maybe stone, but so many great options. I think this paper is so pretty. And for those of you who like to scrapbook, what a beautiful set of papers for a little beach vacation. I think it would be really darling with that. So such pretty paper in here that I was like, I must have this paper, even though I didn't buy anything else from that little suite. So I want to show you what I did with this. So if you look in here, so you can see this piece is all cut out. So let me kind of show you what I did with that. So let me find the sheet that I want. I think it's going to be, let me see which one it is. Oh yeah, those big palm trees, so cute, right? All right, so of course, it's in the very back. So this is one of the sheets in the designer series paper. There's actually two sheets that are like this. And so what I did is, you know that I do not like tedious. I do not like things that take a long time. If you buy the little bundle that goes with this designer series paper, you will actually get a die to cut out all of these tickets. So you could cut those all out with a die. Also something to cut out the little arrows. But look at, I just cut them by hand. How easy. It's straight lines. So that was pretty easy. So I have all of these little tickets and arrows and everything. And so I started making cards with this. And then if you look on, there's the other piece that I used for these cards if you look here, again, I did some fussy cutting. I cut out a Ferris wheel. I cut out some palm trees. I did cut out a carousel, and then I cut out some balloons. But on the back of here, look at how beautiful this paper is. Can you see that? So it starts out with this like yellow, and then it gets orangey, and then it gets, I mean, this feels like cotton candy to me. This is so stinking pretty. Love, love, love. So I want to show you. So that's really the tricky part of this card, is I just went through and I cut out a bunch of pieces. So you can see, like, I cut out all those little arrows that were on there. I cut out all of the little tickets. I mean, I have little grandkids. Can you imagine like sending them a little ticket? Good for something. Good for ice cream when Gigi visits. Good for a trip to the Lego store, right? All of those things. So super cute. So I cut all of those out, and then I was like, all right, let's play a little bit. And then I cut out, like I said, I cut out the palm tree. I cut out the Ferris wheel, all those things. So let me show you what I made, how I put it together, and then I'll show you some other samples of it. So we are starting with this piece of yellow cardstock. It is the new one. Who knows what that new one is? Daffodil, perhaps? Daffodil. Yes. And so we're just going to score it in the middle, right at 5.5. Give it a nice fold here. And then I'm going to come in, and I have a piece of strawberry slush. And so we're just going to layer that, ooh, random stamp, layer that on top. And then we're going to go ahead and layer this cardstock next. Now I want to talk to you a little bit about composition. So when I was sitting down to put this card together, I knew that I wanted to work with strawberry slush and then this yellow that we have. Let me see what the color is. Daffodil Delight. So I wanted to work with both of those. And so I played around with it a little bit. And the first thing I thought was like, oh, I'll put the yellow piece under, and then I'll put the Daffodil Delight. But do you see how that paper is not as impressive if we put it that way? If we layer it the other way, that paper really jumps. And so sometimes it's fun, once you've got your colors that you want to work with, just to play with them a little bit, to decide how you want to vary them, how much contrast do you want in order for it to really look its best. So I'm just going to go ahead and put these guys together with a little bit of my green glue. Clean that guy off. Give it a little shake. So with Designer Series paper, you don't always have to get the full suite of products in order to take advantage if there's paper that you really, really love. Sometimes, particularly with floral sets, I'll be like, okay, I have lots and lots of flowers. I don't need another set of flowers right now. Or maybe it just feels really fussy, and I know that I'm not a really fussy creator. I like things pretty clean and pretty simple. So sometimes I will skip by the stamp set or the bundle, and I will just get the paper, because I feel like the paper is always going to work. You're always going to have a greeting. You're always going to have an image. If that paper is really pretty and kind of abstract, you can always play around with it and keep it with other things. I will also tell you that I have a very hard time getting rid of cardstock and paper. I have a lot of paper here. And if I'm not designing for you guys and I'm just designing for my friends or making something, particularly when I'm scrapbooking, I will use anything I have. I am not particular whatsoever in any of that. So paper is always going to be a beautiful thing to add. So my images that I have here is I have these balloons that I cut out of that cardstock, and then I have these 2 tickets. And so I know that I'm going to want to use those balloons, and I'm going to come in with these tickets, and I'm thinking I'm going to lay them just like this, just to give a good composition. Oh, sorry, I'm so dry. A good composition so that it feels like there's some good balance on there. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down as well. So I like to lay them out and then kind of eyeball it so I know where I want to come back with them. So we're just going to go ahead with those balloons, and I'm going to come in here, give that balloon a little bit of zhuzh there with our green glue, come back, put those balloons down. And then I know that I'm going to stamp my greeting in strawberry slush. And so that's why I'm going to put the strawberry slush on the back, put this green one in front, and then pop my greeting on top of that. Again, it just gives me that little bit more contrast. But I think when you're doing a simple card, I think some of those things can make a huge difference. Just the way you layer your colors, it won't seem quite so flat. if you're not someone who likes to add lots of bits and bobs onto your card. You guys know I like a little bit of a cleaner look on my cards. So we've got that. Then I'm going to come in with my dimensionals on the back of that green ticket. Like I said, I was super happy to fussy cut these. I sat down in my stamp studio last night, turned on a little Netflix, a little time to myself, and just went ahead and cut all of those little guys out. So that is where I'm at so far. So what I'm going to pull out next is the Fabulous Saying stamp set. So remember, this is the stamp set that you can get for $5 when you spend $75 in the Stampin' Up! Store. Only until the end of the month though. So good through January 31st. So many great greetings in here. Love, love, love. And balloons say happy birthday. Do they not? Yes, they do. So long greeting set, right? We have a long greeting here. And so one of the things that I have found really helpful is that if I put it just down on my and then I take my block to it. What I find sometimes, take my block to it. What I find sometimes is that if I go ahead and I try to put it on like this, I can wiggle it a little bit. And so if I don't want to have that happen, it's easier just to press it right on there and it stays nice and straight as opposed to my fingers bending it around a little bit. So I've got that on now. And so I'm going to come in, get my strawberry slush open. And then I just need a piece of white cardstock, which, as you know, I'm sure was sitting right here a second ago, and then who really knows what could have happened to it. So we're going to grab a new one, but it's all good. It's all good. It'll show up. It'll be, it's not like a Stampin' Dimensional top where we just never know where those are going to end up. It'll end up somewhere. We'll use it. All right, so I'm just going to come with a scrap of basic white cardstock, and I'm going to stamp my greeting right in there. And since the theme of this card is fussy cutting, we're just going to give it a little bit of fussy cutting. It is not hard. This particular greeting is really, really easy. I'm not one when I fussy cut out. First off, I like to cut off the extra because I feel like it's just a little bit easier when you're not working with all of that paper. I don't come in and out of every single letter. I feel like that can just make you're going to make yourself crazy if you do that, right? So I'm just kind of turning it and always turning the paper, never turning your scissors, right? And giving it a very rough cut. This is not a close, super fussy cutting. We're just giving it a really rough cut here around this word. And again, like I said, this one is really pretty easy because a lot of these letters are all in a row, and so it makes it a little bit easier. You don't have big wingy letters that you're going to have to worry about. And again, I'm not getting really, really tight in there. I'm keeping it pretty easy on myself and doing it a little bit broader, a little bit rougher cut. Get in that last one, come up on my H. There we go. So did my little fussy cut there so you can see that. And so I'm going to take that, I'm going to throw some dimensionals on the back of that guy as well. I'm going to stick in the middle because I know that it's going to be on different sides of my ticket, so I don't want to worry about that too much. And so I'm going to come in here and just give it a little push there. And then I'm just going to, I've got a couple of little sparkly guys, so I'm going to come in. I think I have a lot of pink on here. I'm going to come with a little bit of green. It's not an exact match. I don't think it needs to be. I don't think that's really important, particularly when it comes to sparkles. This is going to give a little bit more of a pop anyway by having it being a little bit different. All right, and that is the card. Like I said, a little bit of fussy cutting, but super cute. Now, what I didn't prep and what I would do is I would put a piece of basic white in on the inside, and that's where I might come in with a couple of like the arrows and stuff just along the bottom part. Let me see if I can find another arrow here that I want to use. You know, something like that along the bottom just to give it a little something on the inside. So I might do that as well. Also, you could come with a little palm tree on the inside on your basic white, so that would be really cute. So let me show you the other ones that I did. So this is one using the carousel from that I did a little fussy cut on, and then same exact idea. And then this was another happy birthday one, and this time I just did a little fussy cut on that Ferris wheel. So you can see really, really easy. like I said, don't be afraid to purchase designer series paper just because you aren't in love with the whole enchilada, right? Just because you don't love everything. Paper can always be such a great foil for some other things, other greetings that you have. I mean, this is so pretty. And like I said, if you're a scrapbooker, you're going to want all the paper. You're going to want all the paper because you're going to be like, why didn't I get that palm tree paper? I went on a vacation, needed a palm tree. Could have had it, didn't get it, right? So remember that fabulous saying stamp set, $5 with a $75 purchase just through the end of the month. And then in February, we'll have a new one. So that'll be really fun. I've got a new product on its way. I think it's coming tomorrow. So I will let you, I'll let you know. I'm sure some of you have seen it if you've been watching other demonstrators, but we have a new stamp positioner. So I'm really excited to get it in the studio, to give it a little run through and see how I'm going to use it. You know me, I like things pretty simple. I don't like things super fussy. So if it feels fussy, I have a tendency not to use things. So I will give it a go and share it with you as soon as it comes. But that is what I have for you today. A little bit of fussy cutting, but a really simple card. And so something good to be doing while you're watching Netflix, or I know many of you still stuck inside with that stinking weather. We were up to a balmy 0 degrees when I went to yoga this morning. So we're on an upswing. It was minus 18 just a few days ago. So we'll take that. We will take that. So my friends, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a great day, and we will talk to you soon.